before they vote in this country. You can't go to Finland and vote in their elections. You can't go to France and go vote in their elections. And also the left had no problem talking about voter fraud or anything of that nature when Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump in 2016. And you guys were crying about voter fraud and being disenfranchised and things of that nature. This is not voter suppression, definitely not for the black community, definitely not for the community of Hispanics that are here legally. They have no problem producing these type of papers. They had to do that to get an identification with a star on it to be able to get on a plane. So there's no reason why we can't produce naturalization, birth certificate, or a passport of some sort as a citizen of this country to vote in our elections to make sure the process is fair.
All right, Shanidra, let's hear from you on this.
First of all, I don't know to whom you refer when you said you guys, but I'm an independent. I see the effects of this kind of smoking mirror on children in schools. First of all, you cannot vote in an election if you're not a citizen. As he said, there's no evidence that we have substantial voter fraud. That's number two. Number three, I think he's focusing on the wrong document. The U.S. Constitution should be the document that he focuses on. The Epstein files, the numerous books written about his horrible character and things he's done. Those are the documents people should be focusing on, not this. Half of Americans have passports. So I'm sorry, I don't know whom you talk to in the community that of color, but many folks don't have passports, and older
have
people,
birth certificates.
Older people
They
don't
have birth certificates.
Excuse me,
One
I
at a
interrupt
time,
you.
ladies, one
Sorry.
at a time.
They have
Don't do
birth
that. Don't do that.
One
Don't
at a
do that.
time.
They have birth
Older
certificates.
people don't. Many older people
That's
do
silly.
not, okay? Call it silly if you want, but they don't.
I did.
So I don't feel that it's even necessary. And again, it's just smoking mirrors to deflect from what he's not doing. And his little minions who are going into these town hall meetings should be prioritizing their constituents' health care, veterans' benefits, their jobs, their pensions. Those are things that take precedence over this.
All right. Melissa, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this.
Okay, so to stay on topic, the topic was, do we feel like you should have legal identification and you should vote as a U.S. citizen? The answer is yes. If you take the poll that it was taken on your Twitter, was it your Twitter or your Instagram? 87% of the people on that page said that they agree with it. So that would make that, if you look at it mathematically, a bipartisan effort there. And so that means Democrats and Republicans alike agree that you should be a U.S. citizen to vote. Okay, so as we touch on what Ms. Alexandria said, you can't go to these other countries and do that. And so there are many ways that you can provide identification. You can provide a passport. You can provide a driver's license. And most U.S. citizens at least have some form of documentation showing that they're a citizen.
Absolutely.
And I am aware that there are people who come here on visas and things like that because I've worked with so many of them. However, you still have to go through the process of legal citizenship in order to gain those rights that we have here as Americans.
And really quick, Seth, as we end this, will this end up obviously in the courts?
I would obviously end up in the courts. This is disenfranchising a lot of people. And if you think everybody has a passport, you have the blinders on because a lot of people don't. And that's the reality of what we're living in. There's no proof that undocumented people vote. This is just, once again, deflection from your president, Donald Trump. And I want to see your examples the next time we come on.
He's your president too, by the way.
Not
I
mine.
believe we should have IDs, and we already have to present
And
IDs.
that's
but we
a
shouldn't have
form
to
of
get
identification. It
and
doesn't
just
mean
quickly-
I read the article, I read the literature, so
Absolutely.
I'm
And just
Okay.
quickly, we may have complained about voter fraud in the past, but we didn't try to overthrow the government on January 6th.
Period.
And
You've been trying to
Trump supporters,
overthrow the
we
government the
have
whole
not.
time, and
So-
you're throwing
No,
a
ma'am.
temper tantrum
We're not
right
violent.
now.
We're not
Literally
violent.
have the
States.
next
We're not
segment is
violent.
about
I love the
Teslas
US.
being
We want to thank our
vandalized
guests here
by
on
the
the
left.
background
You're not
censor.
I'm not on the left.
Still ahead tonight on the